Great morning, everybody. What's going on? So happy. And you have no idea how excited I am to be here this morning with all of you. This is going to be a fantastic session over here. I feel like I'm back in the zone, sitting in the seat here, ready to be able to work with you guys and looking forward to a great session today. Not much so far going on the news front this morning that I can see. We're going to start with the calendar this morning. We do have at 10 o'clock a.m. the ISM, non-manufacturing PMI. We got the here we go. We got the Australian Central Bank meeting later on, and then not much else on the calendar until Wednesday when we get the FOMC meetings. Really a light calendar this week. Obviously, the market right now seemingly is focused on a couple of things. Number one being the recovery of the president, who looks like that he could be going home by Tuesday, maybe possibly even today. Looks like his conditions are improving. What else is the market focused on? It looked like there were even still further signs of some type of compromise on, again, the carrot hanging on the stick, the stimulus bill. We'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath for that whatsoever. It's quite amazing to me how well the market has held up when you realize that the stimulus doesn't look like it's going to be there, that the Fed has basically, ever since the beginning of August, taking their foot off the pedal, right, with the least amount of purchases daily. The market's still hanging in there pretty well. Let's take a look at the charts. Let's see what's going on with the charts, and let's follow what's going on with the charts. Greg made an observation, and we're going to get a strong look at FX not only today, but the entire week. He noticed that so far those pairs look sideways. We'll take a look at that right now ourselves. I want to get that clean awareness. By the way, Monday, and when I say Monday, I mean the Asian Open and Monday, which is Sunday night for a lot of you, is a great time to stand aside. A lot of people looking to be active as soon as the market opens. If you have that need, it's one of two things. Either you have to look at that and maybe that you have a little bit of a gambling problem, or that you just haven't learned the maturity yet of patience and waiting for that market to set up. Strong analysis on Monday, and then the Tuesday morning session leads up to a great week of trading. I love this quote over here. Life is beautiful. Enjoy every moment. All right, let's take a look over here. We'll start with the S&P 500. By the way, just a quick piece of feedback. I changed the resolution of my desktop here. I'm not sure if this looks better, the same, or the adjustment wasn't necessary. If anyone has any feedback, I appreciate to understand that. Otherwise, I'll go back to the old setup. All right, S&P 500 over here. And what are we looking at over here? We're just going to start really easy by going like this. Better. Looks good. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Clean this. I feel so good to be back at the desk. Clear as a bell. I like that a lot. And just a little bit smoother and easier to work with things. But just give me one more second here. So I'm about to go into a big flow here. We're going to get hot and heavy. And I'm just lining it all up so I can step into that zone over here. All right, here we go. S&P 500. We saw a lot of pressure, right? When the president came down with COVID, we saw a lot of pressure, but that pressure ended up into what? Into support, bounced off the support over here above the all-important 33, 39 level over here, and still last week having trouble getting over this resistance. But you could just see over here that two things. We are consolidating now between this level, and also during this consolidation over here, we are making higher lows, right? Higher lows and also higher highs. Okay, so what does that mean to us? Well, for sure, we're looking, because of this bullish breakout of this descending wedge pattern, we have this huge bullish bias over here, right? Came back in for the retest, never made it above the resistance, right? The price tells a story. This is the story that it's telling right now. Never made it above the resistance, but held the support and is now consolidating with a bullish bias coming out of the descending wedge breakout. Now, for anyone who's looking to get, and I'll talk about it later this afternoon, but I showed you that we had those record highs since 2006 positions, short positions on the Nasdaq, speculative positions. 40% of those were closed right away, right? We felt like something was wrong there and everyone was getting too bearish. Turns out that I'm really impressed with the ability these days of the retail trader to get so quickly on the right side of the market. So I definitely applaud that. And they probably did the right thing getting aggressive at that right moment when we were watching a potential technical breakdown and even ourselves tried to position for it. Now, what's happening right here? Well, we're kind of neutral. I mean, we're not neutral. We have a bullish bias, but we are neutral. We talked about during the live stream on Friday, why on the live stream, we talked about the entry happening that morning over there. So people could definitely be long right here. And if you're not, the next thing you're waiting to do is you're waiting for us to clear this resistance over here. A resistance above, a break above this resistance over here. It'll of course take me one session to get back into my top performance. So either which way, a break above this resistance over here, that sets up another leg up. And that's what we're looking at over there. What about the downside? We always want to watch out what's going on the downside. Will a break below this trend line over here and the 33.39 set off a leg down? Well, it'll definitely set off, right? Either a retest of the 32.77 or even lower to 32.33, 32.32 support over there. All right. So watch that over here. If we do break below this trend line over here, at that point, that's where your stop should be just under that, and it's time to get on the side. The fact that after that huge negative event, the president of the United States coming down with COVID and that trend line holding, that's bullish. If we break that trend line, that's a warning sign, and it's time to get neutral. I would not be looking to attack to the downside. The market continues to shake off bad news. And I talked about the greatest risk in the market, in my belief, was that the election is a non-event. We'll see. I mean, there's going to be riots. I guarantee it. Well, I don't guarantee it, but there's probably going to be riots. Over here on the Nasdaq, I mean, look, I guess we're kind of used to that, right? The bearish head and shoulders. I don't look for head and shoulders. It just doesn't. So I just gave top-down analysis of exactly what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm following from an 8-hour swing trader's perspective. This is going to keep you, the 8-hour is going to keep you on the right side of the market for sure. Head and shoulder patterns are very difficult to trade. When they're clean and they look good and they wind up, they could be a great pattern because it catches a lot of people, right? You have the left shoulder, then the head, and then the right shoulder, and that formation together structurally provides a powerful pattern over there. But stop, everyone's looking for head and shoulders all the time. I just gave a perfect analysis of what's going on in the S&P 500, and that's what I'm following. Nasdaq, let's take a look together over here. Boom, boom, boom. Well, stimulus is coming. That's true. That's a great insight, Miguel, that the market's going to shake off any bad news as long as it thinks stimulus is coming. The only way that by the way, there would be a lack of stimulus would be if the Republicans swept the election. At that point, we would probably be looking at probably something in the realm of a $500 billion package, which is stimulus, but the market probably wouldn't like that, right? The market wouldn't probably like that. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. You don't think the market would like that? I don't think the market would like that. Cast your vote. Cast your vote. All right, everyone, let's keep going. Let's see what else we got going on over today. We got 1,100 people in here today. So happy to be here with you all. So happy to be back home here. It wasn't easy working off the laptop, and it's just much easier, much sharper over here. Nasdaq. All right, let's do the same thing we just did. First of all, what are we looking at over here? First of all, we got, right, we were watching the channel. We had the attempt to break to the downside once, and then here again, never got a trigger on that, but we peaked below it. That got a lot of traders caught off on the wrong side. Not only that, we had, again, record speculative short positions on the Nasdaq. I talked about that, and then you see that 40% of them covered. Still got 60% of them short. Still a lot of room for short covering over here. Will it come? I don't know. We're just going to find out what's going on here following price alone. Again, huge risk event sent the market back down to what? Holding the trend line over here. Very bullish. Above this support over here at 11,280. Very bullish over here. So we're coming from a bullish perspective over here, setting up this session actually for a possible entry over here for sure. Now, what about on the downside, right? Where are we wrong, and where do we get neutral? Where do we get short? It remains over here. We talked about this on Thursday, right? Stop loss below over here. This is the center of the channel. If we come down to there at that point, I would just lean off. I would back off the bullish tint we have over here, right? Get neutral. I would not short this. Why would I not short this? Well, we're still maintaining this bullish, right? This bullish consolidation over here. Why is that bullish? Well, we broke out to the upside and still holding the support. Before we broke down, while we were up here, I said, even if we come back down and test that trend line over here, this was Thursday afternoon, that's still bullish. That's what's happening right now. This is all still bullish. what will make this neutral coming into the middle, taking out those lows over here on Wednesday, that at this point will send us to neutral. We'll just be on the sidelines. And at that point, we'll be waiting to see which way this channel breaks out. By the way, this analysis that's being done here on the Nasdaq is relevant for every other instrument there is. This is trading. This is how trading works, right? Now, what happens if we break below this support line over here, right? Well, we did pierce below it twice. That wasn't such a big deal. For me to become very bearish on the Nasdaq, it will be this level that is held, 10,745. I'll make it a little darker right now just so it's there as a reminder for all of us. A break below there, that's when I would start looking to sell the Nasdaq. Again, neutral, bearish. Right now, we are actually bullish. That's the Nasdaq. All right, what else is going on over here? Should we even look at the Dow? Dow's looking pretty bullish over here. Dow's looking pretty bullish. We got a lot of thumbs down flying. I don't know. If you're here and you're happy, hit the thumbs up. Definitely appreciate that positivity. I'm having a good session over here. I'm enjoying what I am. And again, selfishly, I'm here for myself. I need to do my own analysis over here. But we got some wickedly tainted whatever. Here we go over here. This looks to me quite bullish also. I like when all three indexes look bullish over here. And you could see over here the channel, right? Break out to the upside, retest, came back up. Huge risk event. Didn't even make a lower low and resuming off of it. Bullish. Everything's bullish about all three indexes right now. All right. We're not going to spend much more time over there. DXY. Maybe they're bearish. That's good. People are casting their vote, and that's all okay. You're right. Definitely good look on that, Heath. And maybe they are bearish. I'm doing my best to give everyone a fair look to protect their bottom line, but everyone will have their own opinions. That's the market. We get to cast our opinions and put our money where our mouth is. Over here, we're looking at the DXY. By the way, Zen, what's going on? Good morning over here. The DXY, we're looking here to take out that important level, that 93.55 support. We're trading below it right now. That means this will be a failed breakout over here. Now, what will we be targeting, right? You see this channel that we were in over here? This over here, this was resistance and then is held as support. That's the next target that we're going to be looking at over here if we break down. That's a big bit of ways. A big bit of ways. Is that even English? Either which way, it's a big bit of ways. And that's what we'll be targeting, a break below this support over here that will send us to test the yearly low on the DXY. Interestingly enough, on Friday, when you had the commitment of traders report, a lot of people who were short dollars did cover. Not a lot, but a sizable portion did cover and close out that short position. But it's my belief that most traders are a lagging indicator in themselves. It's our job to go here, stay on the right side of the trade, be ahead of everyone, not chasing everyone else. Oz, it's all good. It's all good. Again, it'll take me a day to get back into it, for real. Let's take a look at gold over here. I'm enjoying the session, though. It's so much easier for me to work off of this setup over here and be able to enjoy the comments that you are all contributing, to be able to get a clear read here on the charts. It's just much easier to work out. Eric, we're going to get into all of FX today. That's a good question. Why is 93.55 such a big level? All right, so let's check it out over here. So, by the way, this over here has been all year. This over here, this is going on 2 months now on the DXY. This has been the most difficult thing to navigate. And I think that all year, and there have been a lot of positions and trades that we've absolutely crushed this year. This has been the most difficult, with also this. Hold on one second. This was also the most difficult, this area over here, right? This area over here, because at this point, I didn't know if we were going back to 2023 or if we were going to 41, right? This was very difficult portion of the markets to navigate. And also right now here on the DXY, this has also been the most difficult portion to navigate, and I think it's our best work all year. How about that? We've absolutely crushed trades this year, and I think this has been the best because it's been the most difficult, and we've been on top of it. Why have we been on top of it? If you remember over here, as we, again, short over here, and this was all clear to us until we came to this period over here, and right away, right, about a week in, I said, look, we're consolidating, right? And then over here, we were watching to see if this was a accumulation pattern over here and a possible a bottom. But even when we broke over here out of the channel, I didn't say that, oh, it's a long. I said, well, we still now have to watch over here, 93.55. Remember 93.55? And then we stayed below it, and we were in this no man's land over here. We were in this for going on almost a week and a half in this area, in no man's land. And then we broke out over here. And I said, well, we got to really break above 94 because that's the last bit of resistance. Once we did, I said, okay, counter trend in play, right? And then as we were up here, I said, wait, we're going to come back and we're going to test 94. Or I would not be surprised if we came back and test 94. That would still be normal. We came back, test 94, lost it. That's why 93.55 is such a big level. Since we lost 94, I said if we lose 93.55, at that point it's a failed breakout. This still might not be a failed breakout. If we hold here today at 93.55 and we resume off of this, by tomorrow we could be trading back above 94. And not only that, we could be targeting this last swing high. So that's why 93.55 is such an important level. Great question. And I did my best to get really into that right now to explain in a short, concise manner. But that is, you're talking about 2 months of analysis explaining why 93.55 is so important. Gold over here. Gold obviously looking very, very, very bullish for me above the 1904 support over here. Everyone on the channel is definitely aware of that and when and why. Now, let me be clear. It's this trend line over here. It's this trend line over here that gold needs to break above in order to be bullish, right? In order to be bullish. However, for me, getting right above 1904, again, that was support over here, broken, right? Resistance, getting above it is very bullish for me because of this. This got a lot of people on the wrong side of the market. I cautioned against selling that. I said, technically, that's a breakdown. This is no longer bullish. But I believe fundamentally gold is in a bull market. I'm not going to sell it, even though we're looking here to see what happens technically. And then we were able to regain this trend line over here. That set gold back off bullish. But I said not until we break that resistance at 1904. That becomes very bullish for me. This is the confirmation. Everyone, this is the confirmation of break of that trend line. Break above that trend line. Flip it into that broken resistance into support a lot. That's where you could feel good about picking up a high probability trade. All right. So what about silver? Has everyone got a clear? If DXY goes up, can gold go up? I mean, DXY is going down right now. If the DXY goes up, could gold go up? Absolutely. Again, just go back on your own chart. Look at the end of December of this past year through February of this year. The end of February. The DXY was so strong. It went from 96 to 100, but gold was stronger. Gold was stronger than the rising dollar, right? What about, I mean, if you missed it and you just want to see really quick over here, here it is. You have December 2019, gold's trading at 96.50. It goes all the way up through February to 100. What did gold do during that same period over here? Again, December, gold's trading at 14.67. Go to the end of February, gold's trading at 16.84, stronger than the dollar with a rising dollar. So of course, right now, we've been seeing almost the tightest correlation you could see here. Do you see this fake break up so far? Possible fake break up, right? This is the fake breakdown. Right now, they're trading tightly correlated. It doesn't mean that correlation is going to continue. It doesn't mean that correlation is going to continue. right now they seem very much correlated or coupled reversely. Oh my goodness, Brandon. Absolutely. All right, and let's take a look at silver over here. Silver again tracking very similar to gold over here. Everyone noticed, by the way, how this held over here, this important support and trend line over here held this day. If you look at the daily time frame, never had the close below. Now, what's important over here is 94.50. It's not only 94.50, it's this trend line over here to the upside. All right. For us to get same thing as gold, for this to be really to see a bullish breakout, you got to get above this trend line over here. That would probably coincide with this level over here all the way up at 26. Like above here, like it's super bullish. Right over here though, regaining 24.50, is that still bullish? This still remains resistance over here. Get it back above it. I do think so. I think that's an aggressive place to begin entering, but a good one. Silver's not looking as healthy as gold. Don't forget, all this year, when gold was always doing the hard work on the upside, and then once gold breaks through all the technical levels, silver plays catch up. It looks like a similar thing is happening over here. I continue to think gold is the better trade. I continue to think that if we get going over here, for sure, silver will outperform. But don't forget, if you come into any, when you go into a risk off type environment, gold is going to perform better, right? If all of a sudden in a month from now there's no sign of who won the presidency, and we go into a huge risk off environment, gold is going to be bid up, right? Not silver. Gold will be. Gold remains. Gold remain. I'm a gold guy. What else could I say? But more than a gold guy, I'm a Bitcoin guy. That's for sure. What's going on with Bitcoin over here right now? Continues to look impressive. When I say impressive, it's simply because BitMEX over here, huge problem over here. If this would have happened 2-3 years ago, forget about it. We would have felt a huge dump on Bitcoin. Love and respect the fact that not only was BitMEX a Bitcoin only project, meaning there was no fiat on ramps and off ramps, only Bitcoin, but the fact that as soon as these charges were pressed against them, they continued withdrawals, and not only that, instead of doing it once a day, started doing it at regular intervals to assure the market. Good stuff over here. It's clear to see what's happening on Bitcoin. You have this little trend line right over here, this bigger one over here, right? As we were looking at, of course, Bitcoin is bullish and has remained so ever since. Again, this was the breakout of the bull market. Came back up, retested it, and now resuming off. Okay, that's all well and good, but I want you to focus in on this trend line over here and then this one over here. We need to obviously break above the outer one, right? For this to become like when we talked about for gold to be bullish. Gold's bullish now again, but for it to be bullish, we need to take out this trend line. For silver to be bullish, we need to take out this trend line. For Bitcoin to be on a bullish, like making its next run, it's got to take out this one. So we're still massively consolidating. You could see what we're consolidating between this line, and more so between this line and this one, right? It's a consolidation phase. We're getting ready for a breakout. Could it go either way? Of course it can. Of course it can. The market has shaken off some pretty big risk events, though, already in the past week. And here we are. So that's something, that's signal. That's something that you should pay attention to. I always say it's not the news event, it's how the market reacts that's important. Now, the president of the United States going into the hospital because of COVID, that's a pretty big risk event, right? The Federal Reserve backing off on its purchases. It hasn't since the beginning of August made any type of corporate bond purchase. And it's the least amount of daily stimulus since the crisis. And here the markets are up. That's something that you pay attention to. All right. Everyone got a good look so far when we come to our majors. By that, I mean the indexes, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Dow. Everyone's got a good look at the dollar, gold, silver, and Bitcoin. It's time for us I'm going to the cult now. See, Raul, it's good for us. Zach, good to be here. Everyone, good to be here at 14:55 people in here this morning. So excited to be back in with you. Joe, good morning. Thanks for smashing that like button over here, punching it. Boom, boom, boom. Now, I do appreciate that. It does help support the channel, and I'm grateful for that, right? And Kips, good morning. Thank you. Now we're going to get into the FX. We're going to go look at FX. Before we do, short little interlude over here. By the way, U.S. equity markets are opening right now. Let's check out what's going on with copper, palladium, and platinum. And I'm just going to come here to the 3-day for a minute with you to get that bigger overview, right? I'm just trying to get a good sense over here. So I feel like a lot of Chicken Littles. All right, the sky is falling. The sky's not falling, that's for sure. Trying to get a good look at it and not able to, and that means to me that there's really no clear signal. And if I look at it, right, I do see that we are really just consolidating. We're in between support and resistance and just kind of hanging out, right? So what that means is, longer term, I do believe. Listen, it's a hard one. Let me gather my thoughts here. Like copper is indicative of growth, right? But it could also be fake growth. What is fake growth? Like infrastructure building. In my opinion, in this point, until it starts breaking out and is making up levels, and then you could look for consolidation resumptions out, which looked like it was happening right here. Right, which really looked like it was happening over here. And then so right now it's more of like as you come down further into supports, the lower end of the range, you could look to accumulate, but it's not like breaking out right now. Is that developing over here now? I don't know. I'm gonna just stay neutral on that. And when my voice gets and my cadence gets like uncertain, there's nothing going on there that I'm interested over here. Look at palladium. Looking obviously very good over here. Just notice this one pattern. There's nothing else to say, but notice this. This is a great pattern to look for. Held the support, right? But the leg up, and then you look for consolidation and the resumption out. So that all looks good and healthy, but not much else to add to the conversation. I should probably work on cleaning up those charts later. Trading views having an issue. That's not my issue. All right, there we go. Let's take a look at platinum over here, and we're also on the three of them in a larger pullback scale. All three of them are in a consolidation area here. Here it's easy to see this big channel over here, almost in the dead center of it. So it's not exciting. When you are in big consolidation areas, as you're off of the lower support, that's your time to pick up pieces over there. Not else to say over there. Kips is a big nickel fan. Over and over and over. ARK Investments has a great podcast. Actually, I think it's the one, if not this one, the one where they interview Elon Musk, or the one before it. They talk about nickel. Kips, you'd probably be very interested in that podcast. If you go to ARK Investments, right, and then you listen to the podcast with Elon Musk, or the one directly before that, they really talk about nickel, the future, and because of batteries. Sounds like something you'd be very much interested in. All right, let's take a look at DXY dropping down now through that support here on the market open. We're seeing gold benefiting from that, but silver the most today. And if I can find it for you exactly, I will, only because I remember listening to it. So what else? Let's go through FX right now. We're going to go through FX now, starting with a couple of things in mind. Ooh, that looks good over here as the DXY is breaking down. Here you got the euro breaking up. By the way, I'm always looking at like the news headlines, and of course, like all of you, further digging into what interests me. But I'm always also looking for that, like, to find out where the propaganda is, right? It's like they used to say back during the Soviet Union, the people had to really learn to read the propaganda to know what's going on. Well, I mean, hey, that's our life today, 2020. But I've seen in the last like 24 hours all these coordinated stories about the ECB and the euro. It's really interesting. I don't know what they're trying to get at, but I know it's coordinated. So either which way, would I recommend log scales or not? No, don't use log scales. Don't use log scale. It's fun to look at a Bitcoin chart and a log scale, but don't use log scale. Um, that's right, Brian. Not at all. I feel the responsibility here at this time, as I hope all of you do, to feel like I need to go ahead and make important decisions today that are going to be able to protect my grandchildren, because otherwise they're going to be like, where were you and what were you doing? Why were you not buying gold and Bitcoin? All right, let's go over here. Euro US dollar. We're going into this with Greg's comment at the very beginning of the stream this morning. This is Monday. We're setting up our work for the rest of the week here. Now, if there's anything that I flag, it's still live for tonight. I will take a trade tonight for sure. Now, I tend not to trade overnight during London on Monday. I could, but I tend not to, right? As time goes on, I've less and less trade during that session. It is a more volatile session, now, and again, I'm not looking for that volatility. I'm looking for clarity. I'm looking for high probability trades, right? Now, what else? So I'm going to go through all these pairs right now, and it's mostly, this is like my perspective, to get a feel for what's going on right now, setting up trades for later in the week. I'm going to flag anything that I feel is interesting. And, sometimes maybe if I don't think anything's going to be interesting, maybe that's when the most interesting things are going to set up. But you want that mindset that you're not actually looking for a trade until the trade's so clear that you know you're going to take it. All right. So here we go on the Euro US dollar. We're breaking, as the DXY is breaking down below 93.55. This is breaking above 1.1766 over here. It's an important resistance level, right? Breaking above it sets up a nice trade here. Notice how this held. Let me come over here to the 3-day. Notice how that trend line over here, that blue trend line, that 12-year trend line has held on this attempted breakdown over here. So far has held very, very bullish. People are talking about as early as December, the ECE adding QE. I don't know how the euro will act on that. It's not, I don't know how the euro will act. Let's follow what's going on in front of us. All right. Breaking above and closing above this level will be very important signal for me. I could see this kind of what possibly this channel that's developing over here. I'll be watching out for that. So a rejection here, right? And then a retest of this, assuming this breaks tonight, a retest of that and a resumption off. That's something that I would take because of the horizontal resistance broken into support. And I would probably be targeting this trend line over here. This trend line, which was all resistance, all support, should now continue to be resistance. So any move into that trend line is probably where I'd ultimately be looking to take profit on that trade. Let's see what happens. Let's see what develops. I'm not going to yellow flag it today because I don't know. I don't think we're going to have a setup as early as tomorrow. But I will come back to it if need be. That's what I'm watching, though. Break above this horizontal line over here, setting up a possible long in the day or days ahead. Well, I don't know, Brian. If Trump if he takes a turn for the worse and his symptoms become severe, then absolutely. But, we'll see. There you go, Joe. That's a good one. Jordan, draw a line from the 1st of September to the all other tops. Right over here, that's breaking. That's good. That's a good observation that you're looking at over there. And that you're seeing, that's like very clean over there. Excellent. I like it. That's excellent. It's also excellent, actually, if we break down on the retest below. Watch what happens on that line over there. Watch if that becomes support and trades up. All right. Very good observation. All right, what else we got going over here? Following what's going on in the DXY, though, in the back of my mind, it's trading at the lows of the day. Markets are just kind of maintaining. When I say markets, I'm talking about the U.S. indices. And I see gold trading at the high of the day, and Bitcoin more or less. Is Bitcoin trading at the high? Yeah, it's testing last night's high. All right, let's go Australian dollar, US dollar, important level. Just like on the euro US dollar, looking to take this and think DXY losing 93.55. So here on the US dollar pairs, which are now coming alive, which are now giving like clear signals over here, right? Again, it's a breakout above that line over there. Not happening tonight. It could break out and close by the end of this session today, but the entry, I don't think. Now, I will be doing again this evening my own quick review. That review is usually much quicker. If I have over here, 7 flagged yellow pairs, I'm only looking at those yellow 7 pairs. The reason I'm mentioning this right now, by the way, is because later today, when I see the US dollar pairs that I'm looking at, the first two, I need to see where they are at later, because is it possible that after New York session, they're closing at their highs over here, breaking these resistance levels? And then if Asia has a down session when I'm doing my review, that's setting up entry criteria for me on these US dollar pairs. And I'll be looking at which pair that I'm looking to enter on. So I'm just making a note of that for all of you, because that's something out of the ordinary, something to be focused in on. All right, let's keep going through the majors first, and the US dollar pairs first, rather, and then we'll come back down and look at some yen pairs. Let's see US dollar, Japanese yen, what's going on. So really quick, because there's not much else to say or do, notice this triangle. Notice that we are consolidating within it, and that's it for now. Okay, that's it for now. Until we break out to the upside or downside, we're just going to stay aside on this pair. Let's look at the British pound US dollar. Okay, interesting. First thing my eyes see, this channel that we're watching over here, right? You can see the breakout. By the way, usually the breakout goes into the nearest resistance, retest and resumption off. Just making a note of that. Now, we're into this resistance right now. Is it possible that we break above, right? You could see so far the euro's leading, right? Out of the US dollar pairs, the euro's leading in strength. Then the Australian dollar, the pound is the weakest, okay? Be aware of that. Why do I see be aware of that? Because if the DXY winds up reversing and closing above 93.55, so far the pound is the weaker one. That's the one that you would look to be selling resistance. This is resistance. If there's a rejection here, that's the one that you would look to be selling out of those three, okay? Why? Because it's the weakest. Now, is it possible we get back up over here? Don't forget, it's October, right? And we're coming to some pretty tense, situations here between the ECB and the UK. I remain, stay away and avoid. Nevertheless, I mean, this is on the upside here. I would not take it. Is that a possible play over here or rejection? I mean, maybe. I'm gonna flag it and look at it later. I'll tell you that much. Just on the outside chance that the DXY is able to turn a reversal. What about the New Zealand dollar, US dollar? All right. So I mean, you hear my voice, and it's like, so I'm gonna stay away. I see this little bit of local resistance over here. You see that peak over here, resistance right over there. It's not the clearest of the bunch. I'm just going to avoid it. All right, let's look at some Japanese yen pairs. It is, Jason. There's no question about it. 8:30 a.m., by the way, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time is the most volatile moment of the whole day. That's also when you get the New York data releases. It's during the overlap between New York and London, and it is a profitable signal period, right? Meaning that overall, the signals are profitable. They're all good signals, but you will also get the most amount of stop outs because you get the most trades during that 1 hour of day. So you're going to get, it's a good signal. Overall, it's profitable, right? You should take those trades. You should not avoid them, but be also understand that you're gonna get also a lot of stop outs during that period because you also get a lot of entries. All right, that is the most volatile point of the day. Nice, Gene. Yeah, and it's in the beginning of the year, Kips, we were definitely following the pound trades. When that was last year. That was last year. Yeah, between this year, this period last year was very, very profitable for us on the pound. Then we went into a long consolidation period. During this breakdown over here, I personally, Kips, didn't trade the pound at all. I was busy trading against the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar with the Japanese yen and the Swiss franc. And those were fantastic trades. But I don't know. I digress. Webull is down and markets are kind of up over here. All right. When I say markets, I'm talking about the indexes. Let's keep going. Let's check out some other Japanese yen pairs. Let's start with the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. We'll take them. By the way, the strongest pair today is the Swiss franc, and the weakest is the Japanese yen going into the New York session. I did mention, yes, Victoria. It is the lowest upgrade on TradingView. I'm not sure if it's the Pro Plus. It's the lowest upgrade. I think it's $7 or $8 a month. And then all you do is you go down to your charts. You put in 8 down here. You put in an hour, and then you click add. All right. So I have talked about, though, in this current environment we're in, when we're seeing risk on, we're seeing the Swiss franc outperform the Japanese yen. Both risk off pairs, by the way. And when you're seeing risk off, you're seeing the Japanese yen outperform the Swiss franc. Today's a huge risk on day. You're seeing the strongest pair being the Swiss franc, weakest Japanese yen. Is this possibly something to worry about right over here? Is that a descending, is that an ascending wedge pattern possibly developing? Let's keep an eye on it. I'm going to go ahead and just do this so that we keep watching. Hold on. So that we keep watching it, because a breakdown over there that could really set off risk off. This needs to reclaim the resistance over here at 115.66 to be looking very bright-eyed again. Let me just go ahead and clean up these charts over here as we're going to be following them every day now. All right, so super stoked to be back with you all. Again, it was a little difficult. We had the best week ever, though, but it was difficult doing the live streams from the laptop, that's for sure. Billy, welcome. Yeah, DXY continue to dump, by the way. All right, 93.55, important level. Indexes continue to climb over here. Just cleaning up a second. I'm going to get back into the Japanese yen pairs right now with all of you. You could see that there's nothing on my list so far. By the way, out of what we've done so far, the mental notes that I made of, I'm watching what happens with the US dollar pairs, right? The euro US dollar over here closing above this resistance over here, that could possibly set up for me as long as Asia then trades down. Otherwise, it could be the net following day. I'm watching also the US dollar, Australian dollar, US dollar, but the euro US dollar looks a lot, let me just even flag that for myself. Looks a lot better so far. What about the pound US dollar? If the DXY has a turnaround, then maybe I lean into this to the short side over here as we're coming up to this strong area of resistance. All right, so Australian dollar, Japanese yen, let's check her out. Coming into resistance over here, right? Let me step back over here. Nothing that I see that I would like to talk about or enter. I'm not going to sell this resistance. I have no aptitude, no desire to sell that resistance so far over here. If we regain this level, will that open up some upside trades later? Maybe. There's not anything else going on worth talking about over there. What about the euro Japanese yen? This is actually important over here, taking out this resistance over here at 124.32, right? Taking out this resistance over here, that opens up a possible long over here in the coming sessions as well. Is that something that I'm more interested in than the US dollar? I don't know. I would have to compare the two. Now, I would not take both those trades. I have no problem taking trades on the same pair. For example, I could take a trade on the euro US dollar and on the euro Japanese yen at the same time. I understand that's increasing my risk, right? I understand that's increasing my risk, but I will take up during the course of a week up to 2 trades on the same cross. But at this point in time, I would not be taking both. I would be deciding which one I prefer. Not too clear though yet. Let's keep going. What about the New Zealand? Let's take a look at the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. So this is coming into resistance over here, right? This is already at resistance right now. You can see the light resistance. Just follow my mouse over to the left. And then we got stronger resistance over here. So a rejection over here, this might be something that I'd be interested in selling, right? I'm looking at long trades against the euro, but short trades perhaps against the Canadian dollar. So of note and interesting. What about the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen? Nice. Yeah, Greg, if you want to know what's going on with gold, so we start every live stream off looking at first the S&P 500, then the Nasdaq, then the Dow, then the DXY, and then gold. So you could just pull back to the beginning of the live stream until you see XAU, and then take a look at gold. All right, let's check out what's going on over here. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. This is actually something interesting that we all want to be aware of over here. You see this trend line over here. It's coming into play right now. All right, I just want you to focus in on that trend line. Now come over here right now. I need to extend that trend line. It's in play right now. So let me just make sure I keep right there. All right, you see that trend line's coming back into play right now. A break above it, right? That's setting up a trade that could happen later in the week. A break above it probably takes me into the resistance, and then I look for the retest, and a resumption off is something I'd be very interested in. It's not setting up today. Tomorrow we'll revisit it, and maybe it's broken out above this trend line over here. Getting it back up that trend line, I'll be looking to definitely look for that. All right, what else are we looking at over here? We've looked at some Japanese yen pairs. We haven't looked at the pound Japanese yen yet. Let's look at the pound Japanese yen. Looking much better for sure than the pound US dollar. It's kind of still, if you look at the March low and then the high, that's higher than 50%. It came back all the way to about 50% and it's now higher. So it's looking very bullish over here. This is now support, right? Interesting over here. Interesting. A pullback into that support that sets up a trade. Is that possible that happens by tomorrow in London? Maybe. I'll come back and revisit it for sure. Jordan, what's up with your matcha? I haven't taken a sip yet. You go. I'm going to take a sip right now. Thank you for that reminder. Oh, yeah. That's my first sip of matcha this morning. All right. Let me remove that from the cat. There it goes. What else are we looking at? Let me revisit what's going on here this morning with the DXY trading at the low of the session so far here. Potentially taking out 93.55, a close below it. That sets off an extension over here. That sets off a test down over here of this broken resistance, which has then been support. That's what I would be targeting. A break below that targets yearly lows on the DXY. What's going on with gold, right? Gold is breaking above 1904, looking pretty healthy. Again, gold is focused in on this trend line over here. For me, I'm long gold. Getting a back above this area over here, this is really what sets up the bullish breakout and the high probability trade. It's the same thing happening on silver. Right? Silver needs to gold's leading, silver's lagging. That's fine. If gold does the hard work and gets everything going bullish again, that's when you lean into silver, as it will play catch up and outperform. Bitcoin lagging both almost, and it's the same exact setup, right? That trend line that they're all watching, all very bullish. So it's a dollar story this morning, no question about it. S&P 500 trading towards the high of the day, coming into the resistance over here, right? It needs to break above that resistance, really sets up the leg up and sets up what we're targeting over here. We're targeting somewhere around 34.76. We'll talk about that if we break above. The Nasdaq over here, giving a buy signal right now, and looking good, looking bullish, coming off the breakout and then the retest of the trend line over there. Jonathan, happy Monday, brother. Happy Monday. Great morning. Thanks for that. I appreciate the support, brother. And thanks for being here, bringing not only positivity. No, I haven't looked at nickel. We have some time right now. I want to take a look at Kip has been following nickel for a while now. Let's take a look over there. I need to know what ETF you're following over there. Let's try this. Oh, look at this. Look at this. So I want to get a little technical. When I say technical, instead of just using the brush, I want to use the trend line so I can get some exact points over there. Try to find out what we're looking at over here. Right? Trying to get the correct slope. So it's going to take more than a second over here. Let me make that a little bit brighter. Yep. So it's so interesting. So by the way, I don't know if that's correct. I want to see if that's correct. So I'm going to clone it and look at the downside. All right. And I guess that's close enough. Right. I guess that's close enough. Right. So nice consolidation pattern over here. You can see the downward sloping channel. And we all know what that means. Two things. It means two things, by the way, if you all don't know. So once you see the pattern developing, you have two choices. You lean into the lower support, resumptions off for buy entries, or wait for the breakout of the resistance. The breakout of the resistance is when then you're looking for the actual move to happen, and then for the bigger move out of it. So the breakout and retest, that looks like it's setting up soon, right? As soon as you get the breakout of that outer resistance, it could be setting up a move up. It's not just on nickel though. It's the same exact thing you see on gold with that trend line resistance on the upside, on silver, and then going in also over here on platinum. And palladium's leading the way. And palladium's broken out of its consolidation. Awesome. Absolutely. Absolutely. If Biden wins, there will be much more stimulus, unquestionably. I mean, assuming that they also get control of the House for sure. Let's see what else we're going on. Tesla. We haven't looked at Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. Let me clean this up a little bit. Whoa. Discovery of what? That's new. All right. Clearly, let's keep going over here. Interesting. Friday's price action on Tesla over here. There we go. Friday's price action on Tesla would have taken out any long I went on Tesla for sure. Right? That would have had us stopped out with the long entry right here and then stopped over there. Can't stand, by the way, US trading equities over here. But it looks like it's coming up for another look over here for a break above this trend line over here, which would have to give another buy entry on Tesla for sure. I had blah, blah, blah. I'm stuttering. Excuse me. I'm trying to get a clear look at that. I'm going to put in a better looking trend line for myself so that you could see what I'm following. There it is. Get rid of that noise. Let me clean that all up. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I would have went long over here on Tesla. The break of this trend line over here, the break of that resistance right where my mouse is, but then would have been stopped out over here. I think I would have been stopped out for sure. And then what happens next? Well, we're breaking back above that trend line again this session. Right over there gives an entry signal right over here this morning. We're basically at entry right now, 3 points off. I would be getting long again off Tesla. Notice how it did hold this area of support, but not so exciting from my point of view. 618 likes. Appreciate that. That's half for the amount of people who got in here, half likes. That's awesome. Thank you for that support. It really does help the algorithm, the Google algorithm, know that people are paying attention, that they like what's being shared over here. And I appreciate that support for sure. Weeble is back. All right. Rod, listen, we have at the beginning of every session over here and also the afternoon updates, we always talk about the DXY because the dollar, it's a dollar story, right? But everyone here has, and at the beginning of this session, we talked about the DXY, and then I gave an overview of how I believed this has been the best analysis on the channel all year long, which is actually saying a lot because we've been massively on the right side of trades because this has been one of the most difficult portions of the year to navigate. And I think that we've done it absolutely to perfection, right? To perfection. So I'm interested in catching up what's going on over there. Yeah. So we don't pay attention to polls, by the way, because they had Clinton winning at over 90%. We're just going to, uses me. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, we have a huge DXY focus, Ron. But we're trying to tell you, just go back to the beginning of the stream. We look at the S&P 500, then the Nasdaq, then the Dow, then the DXY. And if you watch the DXI analysis there, you're going to get the best look. If you're interested in it, so you're going to get the best information, the best look at it by going to when we all looked at it, and you're going to get, again, just very good and clear analysis by doing that. Yeah, Brandon, that's true. That's since the first week of August when we hit all of our profit targets. And from then on, I've been saying equities are risky. It was the time as Bitcoin was also breaking out to its bull market to be accumulating and getting positioned. So we had, let's see how the dollar reacts right now as we had the services PMI. Let's check it out right now. Well, I don't know whether or not I'm not. Hold on one second. So we had a small beat here on the non-manufacturing PMI. Let's see if that has an effect on the dollar or not. Um, so could I see silver going back down to 21? I mean, I have no idea, right? When I say I have no idea, is I'm not trying to predict where I think price is going to be in the future, but rather what's happening, right? And so we've been watching and monitoring. To keep it very simple, I can tell you, you have to watch important levels. That gives you your risk management levels, right? And then you trade around that. Right now, do I see silver as bullish? No. Is it bullish that it wound up holding this trend line over here? Yeah. You know, is it bullish that it wound up holding that support over there? Yeah. But this is a big technical breakdown that silver had. And for it to improve that technical breakdown, it's still got to get above 2450. So right now, what I've been saying is that while we're between this resistance and support, I'm just neutral on silver. I'm just neutral on silver. If we break now this week, now up higher at 23.30, and this trend line over here, that will be a big technical breakdown on silver. And then it's possible that not only we go down to 21, but it's possible that we're even going down to 1880, 1890. But that's not happening now. So I can't predict that it will break down or not. I could only say if it does break down below this lower trend line over here, and also the support over here at 23.30, that would be a big breakdown, a big technical level breakdown for silver, and then probably we take out last week's low and go lower. But I could also say that if we get above this line over here at 2450 resistance, things are looking much better for silver, and the odds of us breaking out of this upper resistance over here have greatly increased. Breaking above there and 26, well, that sets off a test and probably break of all-time high of yearly highs on silver. So that's how you do it. I have no idea what silver could peak out. I have no idea what gold could peak at, right? Right? I mean, man, so if gold's trading at $10,000, where does that put silver? I don't know, but a lot higher than it is today. All right, what else we got going over here today? let's see. I want to check out what the DXY is doing after the last important data release, and it looks like it's possibly going back towards the challenge, the low of the day. A lot of pressure. 93.55 is the level to watch, whether we close below it or above it. If we close below it, that definitely opens up the test down over here. It's coming in right around here. I would say around 92.50. That is what was resistance and then held as support since. That's the next level I think that we test over there. We'll see what happens. Is there chances of Bitcoin to break out with filling the gap in this? Yes, of course. No. There's a high probability that Bitcoin breaks out without ever filling the CME gap. Now, JC, just to be clear, I'm always giving what our downside risks are, right? I'm always concerned with like what could possibly happen. And the first thing that when it comes to Bitcoin is at least we always have to be on the lookout for a 30% pullback, right? That's just to be expected. Is it possible that we had a 40% pullback, by the way, in the last bull market? So it's not just that like 30% is the limit, only that we're going to have multiple 30% pullbacks during the bull market. I'm always looking at the downside. However, I have been very firm ever since we broke out that I don't think that we ever close the CME gap. Now it's quite possible, and I'm ready for it, right? But I do say that like if we close it, that we're probably going to wick down, right? Probably wick into this resistance over here, which is every day getting closer and closer to where the CME gap will be. And I think that holds, or possibly we go to 88, right? But I don't think that happens. I don't think we close the CME gap. Looking for gap closes is one of the worst strategies there are, because sometimes gaps don't close for a really long time. And if you look at Amazon, there are numerous gaps that have never come close to closing. All right. Silver and gold are looking to regain their bullish structure. Yeah, silver, right, exactly. They're looking to regain their bullish structure, right? They had their opportunity here for a technical breakdown, and gold has since reversed it. Silver working on that, right? So don't follow what's happening on the charts, and then you're going to stay on the right side of the trade. So they're not giving any indication whatsoever of topping. On the contrary, we're seeing gold giving a signal here of a false counter trend breakout, right? So what else are we looking at over there? Regain the structure. That's right. We're all on the same page. Why does that keep happening? Something I click on there. All right. What else are we looking at over here today? How long we've been going on so far? We have a pretty clear look at the markets over here. Is there anything else that we want to review? I'm open for it for sure, because I'm having a blast being back with y'all. See, that's why we don't look for head and shoulders, right? That's what I was pointing out over there. Square. Why square? Is 93.50 a long-term support on the DXY? No, I don't have 93.55. Is that what you mean? Yeah, 93.55. Was support. It's not long-term support, right? It's what we were focused in on during all of this area over here. It's what was resistance, why we were trading below here. This was an area of resistance. You can see resistance, flipped to support, held as support. That's why we're focused right now on that level. You could see that we're watching this area over here over the last 2.5 months, and that level here, it was support, right? Resistance, support. So that's an important level. Below that level, this was a failed breakout over here, and we've been watching all over it the first time. Nice, Miguel. I'm glad you're involved in that. I wanted actually during the crisis to pick some up, but I just did not have. I spent all my available funds during that time, positioning further into Bitcoin. Which I don't regret. Got some beautiful entries over there, right? 48, 52, but no, we didn't look at the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. I didn't look at crosses, so we have a lot of time. We could look at some crosses over here for sure. All right, so Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, right? This is what I see. Let me come back with y'all right over here. You can see the channels we were following, the breakout, right? The retest, and now resuming off. Is this area of resistance I have appropriate, or do I move that up a little bit further now? If I move this resistance up a little further, that's where we peaked out, and then I have resistance here, support, resistance. That's where the market is showing me it's focused, right? So I'm just going to follow what the market's doing, okay? So bullish, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. US dollar, Canadian dollar. We haven't looked at it today. By the way, let's just talk about a couple of things because we haven't been focusing on it on a daily basis. Over there, as we came into that trend line, we said, if you're interested, that's a place to look into buy. However, right, we see the DXY failing right now. We're looking at resistance, by the way, right? I'm going to see what the market's focusing on, right? Adjust my lines so that's clearer, right? Let me show you where I had it, right? I had it touching on the top of this over there. And then you could see that area of support and then 2 touches of support. But here's where the market's focused right now. So I'm pushing it down. Oh, pushing it down to where actually the market's focused in on. That's where I want to be focused. All right. So let me just clean this chart up a little. But we're being rejected right now at resistances on the US dollar, Canadian dollar, right? So again, I don't really have a clear play. I saw the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I saw the weakness in the Canadian dollar. By the way, what's oil doing? When oil's up on the session today. Oh my goodness, it's in a range. Let me clean that up. I'll come back right now. Nice close on your short, Kips. Excellent trading. All right, US dollar, Canadian dollar. KC on the breakout of the trend line above it. I don't know if that's coming in at 92.20, 92.25, but the breakout of that trend line above it. I'm kind of indifferent on US dollar, Canadian dollar. I don't know if anyone has something else they could see. I definitely over here when we said that was a place you could lean into the long side. Today, when you see the dollar, the DXY providing a false breakout, I would close that position on that alone, right? Take the profit, but I think you're selling resistance right now, right? So again, selling resistance, but you're in no man's land today if you're looking to establish a new position. Yeah, that's a really good question, by the way. That's a really good question. Why was gold trading at all-time highs and silver not? So I don't have the answer to that. It's just a great question. I would like to hear other people's thoughts on that. And if anyone has a good resource, please send it my way. I'm interested. I would like to know. Now, anyway, I don't know. This is a really good question. All I could say is all very beautiful because of manipulation. But I thought J.P. Morgan was long on silver for a while now. I thought they were long on silver for a while now. I don't have the answer to that. Let's check out the US dollar, Mexican peso. U.S. dollar, Mexican peso, feeling it today. What else? What else? What else? What do I see here? I don't really see much of anything over here right now. Is there still opportunity for it to go down? It looks like support. There's a lot of opportunity for it to go down from where it is, right? A lot of opportunity. It looks like that it could possibly even go back down and test 2080. So I don't know, but yes, there is a lot of opportunity for this to continue to fall, for sure. But here down, you can't chase it. Would you be stepping in to buy this? There's no reason to step in to buy this right now, especially with the DXY giving the appearance of it falling. Now let's look forward. Let's say, for example, that we have a turnaround here on the DXY. Let's say by Tuesday or Wednesday, this is trading back above 94. Okay, if it trades back above 94, we could say, all right, if it fought off the attack here, and then we're seeing a lot of strength. What happens then on the U.S. dollar, Mexican peso? Maybe then you would be looking to lean in, like trading back above this area over here of 2150, and then confirming that into support. Maybe you might want to look to get long, but I don't see it. I could be wrong. Listen, I'm not. If I don't see something, you could see something clearly, and take what you see, not off my opinion. All I could do here is I could look at the chart with you and for you and tell you what I'm seeing, and that could either do one of two things. It could either affirm your analysis, which is good, or it could get you to see something clearer that you were missing, right? One of those two things. So just because I don't see it definitely doesn't mean that it's not there, but I just don't see any type of edge here on the U.S. dollar, Mexican peso that's attractive to me right now whatsoever. So Australian dollar, U.S. dollar could possibly be breaking above this resistance today, above this resistance at 0.7187, right? And getting above that resistance, for sure, that will open up possible longs here on the Australian dollar, US dollar. You do have, don't forget, if you're involved in the Australian dollar, be careful in the fact that you have tonight the rate statement over here, which could bring a lot of volatility to the pair. It doesn't mean you can't take a trade on it. Not at all, but be aware. But I myself don't have any type of entry into the trade yet. Only that it's at an important level. I wouldn't look to short that. I wouldn't look to short all rejection off of that resistance, but it's got to clear that resistance in order for me to look to the upside. No, there are some months I'm not profitable. No. But I have to say, by the way, um, Herman, Herman, um, what I've learned to do is when the market is, let's say not offering the opportunity that I'm looking for, when the market is in consolidation periods, when the market's not clear, where I used to trade the same no matter what. I used to basically try to impose my will on the market. And no matter how many trades I was taking, that didn't differ depending on the market's conditions. But I have learned I have actually to a great degree of success to be able to understand when the market is expanding and when it's my ideal trading conditions, and in that portion, not only to be taking those trades but to be pushing those trades. And I have learned very well when the market is unclear and or consolidating, and to back off and trade much less. So while I'm not profitable every single month, in those times when I don't belong trading because there's no clarity over there, because I now back off a whole lot, those down drawdowns have become less and less and less. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I thought it was a good one too. I listen. There's so many Forex calendars out there. and there are a lot of good ones. Whether you're using MyFX Book, I like Forex Factory the best, and that's coming off of, again, about like 17 years of trading FX. It's just what I prefer. Beautiful. I mean, that's maturity right there. That makes a big difference, Brandon. It's shit. That's, again, sometimes, almost daily. There are just like little nuggets, little gems shared, which is why those that do the best are the ones that show up and put the work in, right? Whether you're able to watch the session live or you do it on a replay or however you do it, but that right there could be the difference between someone, having a 7 or 8% year, or having a 22% year or greater. It's important. Yeah, so it's not only identifying the trends, then you also have to identify when the market is consolidating, because when you know that you're in if you notice, I'm always looking for trades that have the potential to push multiple levels. So if you find something that's consolidating, that's not a trade that you want to be involved in, which is oil really right now. Oil is more or less trading sideways going back since June, right? We've been in a tight range since June. I'm not sure if the president's being discharged today or not. Probably they are. I mean, it looks like his condition's improving. It looks like he's working from the hospital. So I don't think they want to make a wrong decision. So when he's ready to go home, that means that he's probably more or less fully recovered over here. Seeing gold continue with silver to push up high today, with the dollar kind of stabilizing. Bitcoin peaked up and then traded off a little bit, huh? Look at that spike over there on Bitcoin. Didn't spike into anything, by the way. Oh, yeah, it did. It spoke. Look at this, by the way. Follow the top of that spike. Follow my mouse over here. And you can see that it clearly did spike into resistance and get rejected pretty quickly. I love the humor, Rod. So not a bad thing, by the way. I mean, you have traders who just you don't understand the first thing about trading. What does that mean? That they don't focus at all on risk management, which is the single most important piece of trading. The second is trade management, right? It seems like everyone focuses on entries and everyone's concerned about entries. Entries are actually the easy piece, right? The hard piece, the important piece is your risk per trade, your risk management, right? Um, and you have a lot of traders who, like, just wind up like getting, not consolidating on their P&L but blowing it out, right? So if you're already consolidating, then you just need to work on now just learning how to push your trades, Rod. It's very simple. You've heard it 100 times and you probably might have discounted it. You have to cut your losers short and push your winners. If you're not pushing your winning trades, and it's only going to be a small percentage of your overall trades that make up the majority of your gains. Think about it like this. If you ever, and I have many times in my career, held on to a trade hoping that it would come back, and that trade got away from me and turned into a large loss, it's the opposite of that. You have to, instead of taking your profits too soon, which a lot of traders do, they see profit and they take those profits too soon. The reverse of that is cutting your losers short. Because when you're taking profits too soon, you're cutting your winners short. There's no way that you can make it at this game cutting your winners short. So stop taking profits too soon. Look to push those trades. I mean, so Noah, don't discount the importance of having good entries. It's really important from the get go to have that good entry, and more important to have that correct stop loss. And then your position side is based on where that is between your entry and your stop loss. So if you're not doing those things to begin with, then you can't get into trade management anyway. So that all sounds good. Yeah. All right, everyone. I think we're going to call it a session, and it's great to be back, and it was a good one. By the way, I noticed this is not a problem or any type of negativity, but I noticed that my flow, I'll give it, was at about 75% today. I'm sure it'll be back above 90% today. It always takes me that one day. I'll be back at it for sure. Much love right back at you, Noah. Thanks for that. Beautiful. I feel like at the right time, all right, at the right time, got everyone off the gold trade at the potential big breakdown here technically. And then at the right time, last week, got everyone back into the gold trade. Being neutral is a good place to be at the right time. Alan, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of this community, which is by far the best community online. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. You guys lift me up. You guys definitely make me a better person, a better trader, and I'm grateful for it. You too, my friend. Have a beautiful day. Back to the matcha, definitely. I appreciate that. Robin, Thomas, peace, brother. I think you better get ready to cover. I think you better get ready to cover. You got it, absolutely. Thank you, man. I like saying that. Thank you, man. Great, it's so great. So happy to be back here. I couldn't wait. I wanted to go on earlier. Thank you, my friend. That's right, each and every day. Thank you, Miguel. Best of all, me too. Yeah, Craig. Tomorrow we have a live session. By the way, Craig, look out for an email or a post in the Telegram group. I'm going to get that out actually right now. Tomorrow we have a live training session. Yeah. For sure, Oz. Just waiting for us to break back above 390. Breaking back above 390 is going to set off the Ethereum again. But we will do that, Oz, for sure. I'll be happy to do that. Ooh, I had so many tacos last week, every day for breakfast. Oz, thank you. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. We'll see tonight. We'll see tonight if anything develops. It's possible. Well, definitely the Euro US dollar is on the top of the list. Maybe even, well, I'll look at it later. Absolutely. Thank you. For the Iowa presidential futures. I mean, I just remember the last election, how astray those polls led us. So I am now wary of them. By the way, election night 2016 was one of my best trading days of all time. What a fantastic turnaround that was. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Awesome. So glad to have you. And thanks for the reminder. I have to do that right now. Brad, what's up, my brother? Thank you, Marcus. Wes, man. Your attitude is contagious. Thank you for that. You got it, Kyle. Thank you. Yeah, G. Yeah, G. Yours too. Chris, this is artlist.io, honeymoon. Oh yeah, Alan. That's gonna be meetup time for all of us, right? Love Resistance 2450. Thank you, Shane. That's right, Joe. Cheers, brother. Gemma, thank you. Tomorrow, it's always that one day. Tomorrow, I'll be back in it. Martin, thank you, brother. Everyone, have a beautiful day. Thank you for that. Glad to be part of this community. I was mentored with a Wall Street trader, and I couldn't stand his politics. I really appreciate your positivity. Thanks for being here with us. Thanks for being here. EOS has been struggling. I think that those alts that led on the last alt season are going to be struggling this time. But alt season begins probably around this month, October, November is when alt season begins. 6 months after the halving, a rising tide will lift all. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? That just comes from man. That's just from years of reading research reports. That's not from one stat. That's just from years and years. And again, the more you're paying attention to things, the more you're following the macro. The brain is the best instrument there is, and all that information just sticks. Happy Monday, everybody. What's my favorite meat for a taco? Well, it's tacos pastor, for sure. And that there's a beautiful program on Netflix called The Chronicles of the Taco. The first one is on pastor, tacos pastor. Watch that one. But, I love everything from cochinito to fish tacos, especially if you're in San Diego or LA, some good fish tacos. But if you're in Rosarito or Tijuana, then you have the shrimp tacos. It depends on where you are. It's all regional. You have to have the best of wherever you are. I appreciate hearing that. I just happy to help a lot of people and keep everyone improving and give them a chance, right? Give them a chance at this for sure. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you all later. Have a beautiful day. Look forward to tomorrow's session. I'll see you all for the afternoon update. There's obviously a lot to talk about from this session, and that will continue. All right, everybody. God bless you. I'll talk to you later.